internet. I'm Beanuts, and today I'd like to take a look at Apples to Apples Jr. in particular. Although the normal version of this game, Apples to Apples, is not terribly different. And this comes from Vaughan Public Libraries, as you will see there, right there. And it's a simple matching game where players will take a card, red card or green card, and try to match it with what's on the other color card. As you can see here on the box, it recommends that you have between 4 and 10 players, that the players be at least 9 years old. I don't think that's a hard and fast rule. As well, in the rules it asks for each player to be dealt only 5 cards. I've played with 7 and it's still pretty fun. So what you do within the normal game mode is that one of the players acts as judge and flips over one of these green cards. Then the other players, who have all been dealt the same number of cards, have to try to match one of the red cards from their hand to the green card. And whoever the judge thinks did the best, either matching with the most interesting or the funniest card, wins that round and gets the green card from that round. The red cards that were used are discarded. That's pretty simple, and the cards are pretty self-explanatory, I believe. And there's also a normal version of the game, Apples to Apples, as opposed to just Apples to Apples Jr., which can be played the same way. And this also has some variations within the rules, which you can see there. So there's Quick Play, where you choose the cards as fast as you possibly can. Crab Apples, where you match the least towards the green card. And Apples Turnover, where you play green cards, try to match with the judge's red card. And any of those modes can be played at any time, and then scored by whoever wins the most hands. Now, while I can recommend Apples to Apples, particularly the junior version, to anyone who wants to play and have fun with it, there are 2 other card games that I would like to talk about that I definitely would not recommend to just about anyone. There's Exploding Kittens, which is pretty popular, but it's also pretty weird, because there are a lot of cards involving fat men with excessive back hair and flatulence. And what you have to do with that game is try to get rid of all of your cards. And what's interesting about it is that you can play matching sets of 2 to get rid of cards, and you have some that allow you to steal a random card from another player, but you draw a card as you're ending your turn, instead of at the beginning of your turn. The reason why it's called Exploding Kittens, though, is because there are cards where kittens are doing things like playing with grenades, which may explode on you and effectively kill you as a player. And each player gets a disarm card so that you can get rid of the exploding kitten and put it back anywhere in the deck, including right on top for the next person to take. However, there is one less exploding kitten card than there are players, as opposed to the disarm cards, which everyone has one. So the twist here is that you will never have to shuffle the deck, because you will end up, and the longer you play the game, you'll end up with one player who survives, and that's the winner, because there is one less exploding kitten card than there are players. The other card game I'd like to talk about is a matching game, much like Apples to Apples, but it's for a mature set of players who don't mind being offended by lots of swearing and other explicit language. And it's called Cards Against Humanity. You may have heard this one. In it, you have black cards and white cards, just like the red cards and the green cards in Apples to Apples. And the judge, or card czar, in each round has a black card to flip over, and then the other players have to match it with white cards from their hand. and always, just like with apples to apples, have the same amount of cards in their hands. And what's unusual about Cards Against Humanity is there are no pictures on the cards. It's just words and phrases that you have to match. But like I said, they're words and phrases that can easily offend some people because of their natures. They're explicit, they're rough, they're rude and crude. But from what I've seen in a lot of the videos, it's also a lot of fun if you can get past the crude nature of it. So there we go. 3 very different games that all can be fun for different sets of players depending on their maturity level. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll consider picking up Apples to Apples or one of the other games if you'd like to try them. So thank you, I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.